welcome back to another episode of Author Interviews with Jazz and Prose. I'm your host, Sai. Today we're here with the lovely Valencia Joy for her new release of her book, I Met a Guy and Other Things You Can Only Discuss with Your Sister Girlfriends. Miss Joy, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. This is an earlier interview for me. Usually they're like a little later, and I kind of like it because I have a lot of energy in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm good. First of all, beautiful cover.
Thank you.
Yeah, and where are you located, by the way?
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
Hey, Cleveland, Ohio. That is where Bow Wow is from, right?
I think so.
I'm telling my age.
I think so.
And I was
LeBron is, a couple of the highway away on Akron.
Okay. I'm not a sports person.
Okay.
Music, I love it. And
I do too.
I was obsessed with Bow Wow growing up, so I just remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was Team Bow Wow growing up. So
not Lil Romeo.
No, and I'm from New Orleans. I know it's very traitor like, but yeah, Bow Wow was bae for sure. Okay, so I love to start with the cover. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about, and it's a beautiful cover.
Thank you.
How you decided to come up with the cover for this book?
So that's a great question. Actually, the book is not debuting. It's been out for about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
So during COVID is how this all came about. And a friend of mine turned her business into a publishing business because during COVID we couldn't gather and she had to pivot her idea. And so she asked me if I had anything available, and I told her I did. We ended up working for like 3 months and put this out. So looking for a cover, we were looking at pictures that her husband had taken, just candids. He's a photographer. And we saw this shot and was like, so this kind of goes with the theme of, hey girl, I met a guy. Like, I'm on the phone, I'm giggling, my shoes are off, so it went with, in my opinion, the theme of the book. And it's pink, it's colorful. These are my things. So we saw it and was like, that's the one.
Yeah, he's a good photographer because this is a good picture.
Yep.
And I said in the post on Instagram, I feel like if you're a girl's girl, this is a book that you're going to want.
Yep.
It's a staple. You're going to need it on your bookshelf if you're a girl's girl.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and learn a little bit about you, Miss Joy. Tell us a little bit about yourself as a writer and how you got started.
Sure. I've been writing all my life, haven't been published all my life, but I've always been a lover of words and conversation, and I'm a words mean something type girl. I've always been that way. All through school, I've written like little stories, little anecdotes. If my mom were here, she would tell you that I picked up a pen or a pencil at 3 and never stopped, always talking, always reading, always writing. So it's definitely in my blood, in my core, is who I am. Like I said, this book came about during COVID. I had fortunately got laid off due to COVID. And just, we had a lot of time on our hands during quarantine if you were not working. So I had the time. I had already had some things written up because prior to COVID, I feel like the Holy Spirit had just been putting it on my heart to start writing. Like I'm a believer, so I'm gonna talk about that a lot. But I feel like it was just on my spirit to write, and I began to do that. And that turned in my favor as a blessing because when my publisher reached out to say, "Hey, do you have anything?" I had something available. We still had to tweak it. We still had to work with it. She still had to edit, but I had the basis. I had the bones of something already to work with. So we weren't working from scratch. Yeah. But I keep journals. I keep notes. My whole bedroom, my whole family room, my desk is full of notes. My phone is full of notes of stories and I guess part memoirs, musings of what I'm going through at the moment. So I am just a writer at its core. Like that's how I communicate best, is through my writing.
Yeah. And I love that. You know, I say it all the time. Most of the people that I interview, it started in childhood, a love of
Mm-hmm.
writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important. Like you said, COVID was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like it really started a wave of giving people just time to pursue their dreams and getting out of the rat race a little bit. And so and I think it's important that all people
Mm-hmm.
document their experience here on Earth. Like putting out from our narrative,
Mm-hmm.
because if we don't, then people won't know what that existence was like for us.
For sure.
And you know, a lot of people read for, well, different reasons: relatability, escapism. They're looking for hope. They're looking for solutions. So I mean, it really just depends. So I think if you have it in your spirit to write a book, like it's
Mm-hmm.
very important to just go ahead. And you know, it's like, what is the worst that could happen?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is the worst
Mm-hmm.
that could happen?
Yeah. Plus, I
So,
think it's also a good testament to like your growth. Where I
oh,
was then, I'm not there now. You know, I've evolved. I'm moving. I'm blooming. I'm flourishing.
oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And you know, for me, oh my God, looking back at my first books, I wrote my first book, I think in like 2013 or no,
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, a while back. And I'm like, oh God, I feel like I need to do like a new edition of it.
Uh-huh.
A
Uh-huh.
little bit,
Uh-huh.
because we do grow, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for I Met a Guy,
Mm-hmm.
the book. Tell us
Yes.
about that book specifically. Give us, for the readers, the listeners out there, what is this book about?
So I Met a Guy is not about men, believe it or not. I Met a Guy is about friendship. I believe in friendship, and I think that our friendships need to be nurtured and catered to and paid attention to, just as much as our romantic relationships. It still needs energy and time. You just can't be friend like you're my friend and that's it. We got to spend some time together. And it's all about the things that I've gone through and how my friends have been there to hold me up. My friends have been there to laugh with me. My friends have been there to encourage me, to pray with me, to fight with me, you know, and vice versa. I've been in the trenches with my friends too. I've also been on the mountaintops with my friends. So it's about your friendship with your sister girlfriends.
Okay.
I
And I
called it, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I called it I Met a Guy because that gets your attention. If me and you are homegirls and I call you and you cooking dinner for the kids and you feeding the dog and you doing this, doing that, you're like, okay, I'll get back to Valencia in a minute. But if I say I met a guy, you like, oh, kids, I'll be right back. Tell me everything. So it catches your attention.
Yeah, that is a good hook. That's a
Yeah.
good hook because yes, and I think, oh my God, there's so many, you know, topics with that. First of all, let me just go ahead and say, as I'm 36, as a 36-year-old woman, it is harder for me to cultivate new friendships in this
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
because life is so busy. Okay, I'm a
Yes.
mom, I'm a teacher, you know, and like you said, it requires energy. I literally just told this guy the other day, like, I can't date you because I don't have the energy. Like, I don't have the energy right now, and I think that would be unfair. So with friendships, I also just had another conversation with my girlfriend. And I won't go into details, you know, it's the internet, but it really was a moment of, like you said, it requires energy and it's not just a surface level thing. You have to have these conversations, you have to communicate, you have to, and I think a lot of people are very quick to cut people off
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in sisterhood and being a girl's girl, I mean, if you want a true bond, just like in a relationship, you're going to have to communicate and you're going to have to
Absolutely.
work through
Absolutely.
yeah. So this book, I think, especially for women like myself who struggle with maintaining new friendships. I have friends
Yeah.
when I was younger, but like friends in the workplace where you think like, oh, this is a cool person. I could see
Yeah.
us like hanging out and doing stuff. It can be a little tricky for me, I would say, I'll speak for myself, to navigate that.
It
So
can.
yeah. So what at what point were you just like, I'm gonna like write this? Like, did you have anything, experiences where it pushed you to write this, or was it just like,
To write the book or the specific topic?
well, I would say the maybe both. Because I feel like, you could have written about other things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
think that my personality and by default, my brand lends itself to womanhood. Like, I'm just a girl's girl through and through. So my friendships are important to me. I realize that friendships ebb and flow. I realize that they give and take. None of my friendships we're always on or we're always off. I get that. But at the end of the day, and I know a lot of people hate that saying, but at the end of the day, they are very important to me.
Yeah.
And so I want, it hurts my heart when I hear women say, I don't get along with women, or I don't have friends, or, women don't like me. That hurts my heart.
Yeah.
That hurts my heart, because friendships are important. We're not put on this earth to walk alone. We're put on this earth for each other. And even if you have a significant other, God bless you, but you still need friends.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna get on your nerves.
Yeah.
And he's gonna mess up, and you're gonna
Yeah.
need, and sometimes you're gonna mess up, and you're gonna need somebody to kind of, call you to task on it. So I guess I wrote it as a reminder for women that you need women in your life. Make yourself available at some point to be friends. I am 44 years old. My oldest friendship is 44 years old. We were blessed together at church in infancy, and we can still call each other right now for anything. Do we talk every day? No. But when we need each other, we're there. I find that making new friends, like in workspaces or being out, can be difficult. But I think that I've learned to be so aligned with my truth and with being authentic as I can be, that I draw the type of woman that I would want to be friends with to me. You know what I mean? I lend myself friendly, and I can make friends,
Yeah.
And I just wanted that as a reminder for other women.
Yeah. And I think that's important. It's needed. And this is the power of books.
Yes.
I tell my students all the time, like, pretty much anything you want to know, it's in a book, more than likely. There's nothing new under the sun. Maybe AI. I don't know.
a little bit.
But there's some type of version of the issue that you have. There's probably a book written on it. I don't know if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I do.
You do? Okay. So just in the spirit of sisterhood and friendship,
yes.
I'm not sure if you, because that's my favorite. Real Housewives one is Atlanta one. So Portia and Shamea.
Yes.
What is your take? You don't have to speak. I don't know if you want to, but I can. I've wanted to ask people this, and I just feel like,
I think that the issues are very layered with them. And I think that they both hold fault. I don't think there's any 100% victim in this situation. I think that Shamea has kind of been under, and obviously this is from the outside looking in.
Yes.
But Shamea has kind of been under the shadow of Portia. And now coming out into her own, I think that may have been a little bit of an issue for Portia, because Shamea is not playing her role right now.
Yeah.
I also feel like Shamea did too much. At least this season. I think overall she did too much. I think that she did a lot of protecting for Portia, and Portia did not return that favor once the cameras are rolling. And here's a good point, even with them. I believe in covering people. If I love you, I'm going to cover you. I will not leave you out to be ran over by the truck, the bus, and everything else out in public. In private, I'm going to be like, sis.
Yeah.
Too much dip on your chip right now. Real it is. But in public, in front of the cameras, it was sad to watch.
It was
sad to watch. And then the addition of Phaedra coming back. Further, I think, put the wedge in between those two.
Yeah, it, like you said, it was layered because at once it's freaking frack. You know, they have their friendship, but then you have her childhood friendship too. And pretty much, I agree with what you said. I think, but I'm hoping that behind the scenes, this is all just for publicity. I really just hope
it could have been.
Yeah, I really hope that they're just using it to, like, you know, get more. I hope. Because it would be really sad. It would be really, because the one part when, like, Portia didn't know that was Shamea singing, I'm like, no, girl, this is your friend. You think, she said, that's true.
And she stood on business with that. And Shamea is telling her, like, no, this is me.
Yeah, that was cringy. So I really hope that this is acting. But
they had a lot of cringy moments together.
Yeah. Maybe you should send them a copy.
Hey, I will.
Oh God. So do you think now let me backtrack a little bit. Okay. I know you put this, you put it out during COVID, but you had written it before COVID. So you didn't write it in COVID.
You know, with the editing process, I've had to add things, but
two questions. Number one, do you have a part of the book that you find was the most challenging
to write?
Yeah.
I spoke a little bit of my divorce in there, and that was a bit challenging, but important to write because that was probably arguably my lowest point. And that was when I truly understood on such a deeper level what friendship is, because they were there.
Yeah.
You know, they were there not only for me, but for my children. They were there financially if I needed help. They were there, you know, at some points just to make sure I ate.
Yeah.
Because that was such a hard, difficult process.
Yeah.
And long, you know, and they never lost patience with me. You know, because even after the hurt of the divorce and the process of the divorce, for me, there was healing after. And they never lost patience with me during that process.
Yeah. And that's when you know you have a true friend.
Absolutely.
You know, they say when you have a baby, when you get married, divorce, all that kind of stuff. And I've been, all those things I just said, I've been through. I've been married.
Me too.
Children, all those kind of stuff.
Me
so
too.
Having that rock there with you, that it's, you know, it's a journey. And that is the thing about it, you know, you're going to change throughout life. You're not always going to be the person when you met them. So if there's any type of character issues, flaws, you know, jealousy, if that person is not healed within themselves, a lot of that stuff can show up during those different events, you know. So it's important. What about a favorite part of the book? Do you have a favorite chapter or a favorite part that you enjoyed writing the most?
That's a good question. I talk about when the bra comes off, I'm not going back out. And I think I'm gonna add to that when the wig come off. This ain't a wig, but I do wear them. So when the wig come off, I'm not going back out. I also talked about going through perimenopause. Now it's not favorite to go through, but just an understanding, like, my body's changing yet again. and I'm feeling insane. And a lot of women, because I wrote it probably when I was around your age. I'm not good at math, so I can't sit here and figure, but I think I was around your age. And a lot of women were kind of going through the same things.
Yeah.
And was like, wait a minute. And I got the idea that maybe it's perimenopause from an Oprah episode I watched when I was like 14 and had no idea what perimenopause was. So full circle moment, but it became relatable for a lot of women.
Yeah.
And I think that's my favorite part of the book overall, is when women tell me like, I went through that, or I understand that, or my girlfriend went through that. To know that it was relatable, and to know that my voice, my pen, was authentic enough that other women understood.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
And that is a good part. That's a very cherished, sentiment as an author, as a writer, is knowing that I did it. If I could just connect with one person, but
yes,
so many people, that it's beautiful. And I think it's needed. And now, you got me thinking, Lord, am I going through perimenopause? I'm gonna have to go and check, because I'm
Honey, listen,
yeah.
And the list of symptoms are endless. Somebody today posted about your hips start to hurt. Your hips. Now, what's your hip got to do with anything?
Yeah.
Frozen shoulder, itchy ears.
Yeah,
My ears started itching, and I thought it was because of my AirPods. And so I'm asking everybody, like, do your AirPods make your ears itch? And everybody's saying, no, girl, perimenopause.
Oh, wow. This is a lot. Yeah, this is a lot. It's noted for me to bring up at my next visit.
Yes.
So your process with publishing. Now you have a publisher, because you said your friend, she started a company. So you decided to go with her. I'm assuming everything was smooth sailing. So did you have to do the editing, or did she have a team of people, or what?
She did the editing and then would bring it back to me. Like if there were questions about clarity or, whatever. And then of course she took care of like punctuation and grammar. And
well, that's a blessing, because
yes,
editing can be a beast.
I know. I do it for other people, and I'm like, Lord.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, because it's also, I remember I did a webinar. That was the first video we ever did, and there was a lady on there, and she we talked about dialect, because in fiction anyway, if a person has the Ebonics, I'm from New Orleans, if they do the baby, all that kind of stuff, your editor has to understand that, because if not, they're like, oh, this is wrong. So I think it's important. A very important piece of putting a book out is making sure that your editor understands the voice, that you're using. Yeah. I feel like, okay, now we're at advice for aspiring authors. So let's see. Do you have any just advice off the top of your head that you want to give to people who want to write a book?
Start writing. Everybody wants a formula. Everybody wants, like, what's your process? This is all you, baby. Start writing. You can clean it up later. You can edit out later, or if you have an editor, if you're working with somebody, but there's nothing to edit if you don't write. So get it out. Get it out.
Yeah. And for me, and that resonates with me now, I have a book I've been working on for over 10 years. And it has to, I feel like for some of us, it's a mental block, like something, because I have like maybe 1 million pens literally in my home. So for me to not pick up a pen and put it to a paper, it's something there that I'm, because, and people say, oh, that's cliche. People always say, well, just start writing. But people don't understand how hard that is sometimes. It's not hard to pick up the pen, but to work through that mental process to say, okay, I'm going to start. It's so simple. Just like, with losing weight, they say, eat less, move more. But that can be a little hard now.
Yeah, it is hard. It is.
Hard. So, I think that is true, though. Find a way to just start writing.
Yeah.
And I
Even
think,
if you feel like it's garbage, or even if you feel like, I'm not conveying what I want to convey, like I said, you can always go back, but
yeah.
you have to start. You
Hmm.
have to start, because we all have a story to tell. And if you are a writer or an author, the burning that is, I need to put pen to paper. I need
Hmm.
to get this story out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
just start writing.
Yeah. And are you because there's, so many different types of writers, but
Hmm.
I am a what is it, procrastinator. So like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But then when I do sit down,
Yeah, girl, don't it
I will
flow?
finish the whole, like I will write so many. Like that's the type of writer I am. For you, are you a pen and paper, or a lot of people I know nowadays use their phones?
I
Like,
am everything. I'm whatever is closest.
okay, that's good. I aspire to be like you, Miss Joy.
I am whatever is closest to me. A lot of times, if I get into a good groove when I'm pen to paper writing, my handwriting gets ridiculous, because
Yes.
I'm like clutching the pen, and got little hand cramps. So a lot of times I will type it out or on my phone, but whatever is closest, just to get the idea out. Also do voice notes
I
sometimes.
love
So,
voice notes. Oh
yeah.
my God. I'm actually in grad school now too. Anytime I have a paper, I have that voice.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I use that voice tool to knock out my writing, because it's just, it flows a little better for me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just easier because when I'm writing with pen and paper, I can't write fast enough. And I'm just like, let me just do it on the
Yeah.
voice note. But yeah, okay. So I feel like we are now at our trivia time.
Oh,
Okay, so we're gonna have just a little trivia here.
okay.
And this is author edition of Would You Rather.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna have you pick a number from 1 to 4.
Here, I gotta put on my glasses. Hold on.
It's fine. Oh, those are cute.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna do 4.
Okay, 4. Let's go there. 3 and 4. Oh, this is a good question. And it's so sister-like. Oh my God. And I swear this wasn't planned, guys. So would you rather have coffee with Maya Angelou or Oprah?
Wow. I have no idea. They're both inspiring to me in a lot of ways. Maya obviously is a wordsmith. She's a
Yeah.
word goddess, and I would
Yeah.
just love to hear her heart
Mhm.
on a lot of things. Oprah is a host, which I've been in the past and want to jump back to. Both of them interact well with people and
Yeah.
use their words. If I had to choose, it would be Maya, but I would ask Maya about Oprah. So
Yeah. Yeah. This is a tough one. It is a tough one.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna comment because I don't know. I don't want to pick, so I'm not.
leave me in the dark
But that was a good one. Maya's icon.
for
So,
sure.
yeah. Okay, so we're at our closing slide. So what do you have next in store? Now I know we didn't bring up your cards.
Oh yes.
So let's talk
So
about a little bit.
these are my conversation deck cards, and what it is they're called Hey Sis, Let's Talk. Can you see that?
Yes, and we'll have a picture up here so they can
Okay.
see.
So there are 3 levels to this card deck. It's not a game, but it's conversation cards. So it's Chit Chat Chic, it's Soul Sips, and then it's Heart Pour. So obviously Chit Chat Chic would be the more surface level questions that you would ask yourself or other women. I think this is a good way to make friends, to get to know people, and to get to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then Soul Sips is a little deeper, and then Heart Pour is like really the heart of who you are. And it's all about all things that we talk about. Same with the book, all things that we discuss or need to discuss when our partners and our children are not around. So it's all about getting to know you and getting to know your friends. You know, like what makes you tick?
Yeah.
What do you need to give up? What is life teaching you right now? And then some of the more surface questions are, if you were a day of the week, which day of the week would you be? If you could sit down with anybody, any woman, past, present, who would it be? It's kind of like your question with Maya and Oprah. So it's a wide range of questions, but it aims at getting to your heart.
Yeah.
Who are you as a woman? Who are you? I think a lot of times we are drenched in our roles. And I know I'm kind of going off topic, but we're drenched in our roles of, like, I'm a mom. I was a wife. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I'm a granddaughter. I'm a sister. I'm a this. I'm a that. But who are you?
Yes.
Because life shifts and these roles shift. And, you know, as a divorced woman, sometimes these roles disappear. So who are you if all of that goes away?
Yes.
You know?
That's
and
important.
I think these questions aim to figure that out a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. I can't wait to get both the book and the cards. I feel
Thank
like
you.
I'm socially awkward. I know usually people can't tell. Like,
I cannot tell. You put on well, honey.
No, literally, I tell myself, like, guys, in high school, they thought I was mute. Like, I used to not talk. And then I got into teaching. I'm like, yeah, that was a very big shift. But those cards, I feel like they're great conversation starters. I can't wait. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we run out of activities to do. So these cards would be great. I think every group of friends, like, y'all need these cards. You need the book. And where can people find the book and the cards?
On my website, you can find the book and the cards. It is www.veejoyful, that's VEEJOYFUL.com. The book is also, and I'm always very proud to say, anywhere you buy books. So if you go to Barnes and Noble or Target, Walmart, we ain't supposed to be at Target, but you understand what I'm trying to say. It's everywhere, which I appreciate. The cards are very new. They have not gone out to anybody yet, but I am in the final stages of getting it ready. And I hope to be able to get them in shops, but if not, definitely on my site.
Yeah, congratulations, because that's big.
Thank you.
You know, people usually, people have ideas, but they rarely execute. They rarely take the steps to actually make it come to life. So kudos to you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll have all of Miss Valencia Joy's information linked, so you guys can go follow her on Instagram, Facebook, wherever she is. But we absolutely enjoyed this conversation. I love a good tea time with the girlfriend where you can talk and just, you know, get to know each other better. And you will be surprised, this is the last thing, you will be surprised at how much you really still don't know about your friends.
Absolutely.
So those cards are good. And then sometimes people may struggle with how to bring up certain stuff. So I think in this format, it lightens it a little bit. So that's amazing. I love it.
Thank you. I think also a lot of time, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think a lot of times we don't often know ourselves either.
Clock it. She's clocking stuff.
Because we're so busy.
Yeah.
We put ourselves last on the list, absolutely last on our list.
Yeah.
And we don't take time, like we talked about earlier, nurturing our friendships. We don't nurture ourselves as women. We don't cater to ourselves as women. So I think it's also a good tool just for you to get to know you and for me to get to know me.
Yeah, I love that. Well, guys, this was a great interview. I think
I loved it.
A lot of gems here. We thank you so much for stopping by, chatting.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. Well, guys, that's it for this interview. We thank you so much for stopping by, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.